Hello, welcome back to another fold and story time. I have been putting this off for so long that it's gotten to the point now where there's 2 loads of laundry in here, and then there's a whole nother like basket full of dirty laundry that needs to be done, and the cycle continues and it never gets done. But here we are. At least we're going to dive in a little bit today. So if you have a chore that you've literally been putting off like I have, now's the time to dive on in. I was thinking today of what to talk about, and I realized that this has like turned into less of a story time and more of like a not like a self-help, because I am not qualified for that, but more of like a, I guess, like life lessons and thoughts and life spews. That's kind of gross. You get it. I just like to talk about things that are going on in my life and some perspective that I either have learned from other people or am gaining as time goes on and with experience. And so I figured I would kind of share what I'm learning and I'm thinking, in hopes that maybe it's like inspiring to you or it makes you feel less alone, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So, this last week was Thanksgiving weekend and everything went wrong. You know what? I'm going to shift this camera a little bit. Okay, so basically, we had all these beautiful plans for Thanksgiving. We were going to be with our family, and we had purchased all this food that we were going to bring over, and like the whole thing. And I ultimately feel really lucky that we even had plans in place, because I know the holidays can be like super sad and lonely, and I do feel grateful that I have a great network of family and friends. So ends up I get sick, and then I'm like, okay, I'm all better, like we're definitely gonna make it to the holidays. And then it turns out my mom got sick, and then we're like, oh no, mom's not gonna come, like that's no fun if she can't be there. And then Jeff got sick and we're like, okay, so there goes the holiday plans, like literally out the window. We had to cancel everything. We had to like bring over the food safely and drop it off at the house where the event was going to come. And at first I feel like we were both really sad about it, because obviously like holidays, we enjoy them. Like we enjoy even if there's like, family drama or family stress, it's all kind of part of it. And in the end, we're like very grateful that we have our family, like I said, and that it's kind of like part of it and kind of like part of the charm, and like, just happy and grateful that we even have that. So we were both just kind of like bummed, but then, so the day started off a little bit sad, and then we're just like, you know what? Yes, we are not feeling well, but we are feeling good enough, and knock on wood, like not Jeff, like at that point I was fine, and Jeff like wasn't super sick at all. And it's like, you know what? We did the right thing. We're not going to infect other people, and like we might as well enjoy, because who knows when the next time will be, when it's just the 2 of us, or rather 3 of us, for the holiday season. And so we ended up having like such a fun day. We watched football all day, which I've gotten like really into randomly. I know no one would have ever guessed. I know. And we like ate a bunch of snacks, and we drank champagne, and then we ended up eating like the best meal ever, because we had saved some of that food that we had bought and we made it here, just like a little portion for ourselves. And then we ate so much pie. And then we also recorded a sidebar for my Patreon, which the information is down below. And like even that we had been putting off for the like past 2 weeks. We knew it was like due, and we needed to get it in and up the day after like Black Friday. And because I was sick and then she was sick, which if you watch my vlogs, like, oh my God, I don't even think I explained to you guys, because 1, I was just like so exhausted. 2, sometimes I like to keep some things private, especially when we're like in the thick of it, because I just like don't need everyone's opinions. Not that I don't like value your opinions, and I feel like, again, this is such a nice community that I imagine people's comments would be thoughtful and helpful, but like sometimes you're just like, I need to just take care of this with me, my family, and like get it done. So she was sick for like 2.5, no, not 2.5 weeks, almost 2 weeks. So I think it was like a full week of every night her getting up in the like early morning, and like being really uncomfortable and shaking and breathing heavy and like not being able to settle. And so we'd have to like take her out in like the middle of the night, which is a little bit scary. And then We would alternate. I would like sleep on the couch with her, because that seemed to be the only place that she could get comfortable. It was just like kind of like one thing after the other. And again, so grateful, like all in all, we're all healthy, and like it could have been so much worse, but it was just like kind of like a couple weeks of like craziness. So we had also been putting off recording this episode of Sidebar that we love doing and that we like owe to our Patreon subscribers because they are paying to see that, and we wanted to deliver, but we were putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I was sick, she was sick, then Jeff was sick, and then finally it was like the last minute, like we had to do it. And so it was on Thanksgiving. I really hope that you guys will go over there and watch it, because it ended up being so okay. So then like the night before, my computer totally like was going bonkers, and the program that I usually use to record podcasts wasn't working, and it was just like we were so tired, and it was just like, you know, when it rains it pours kind of thing. And so we had to whatever. So as it turns out, we ended up recording that just as like this, like as a vlog style on the camera, and it turned out so great. Thanksgiving turned out so great. Adjustment with like her food and medication and supplements now, so great. Moral of the story, and where I'm getting at with all of this, is like sometimes if you just trust in like whatever you want to believe in, the universe, God, spirit, yourself, like trust that things will work itself out. They will work themselves out. Like, and things are like, things happen for a reason, and things are meant to be. And if you try to at least enjoy what you got going on, find the silver linings, and just kind of roll with the punches and try to make the most of the situation that you're in, like, it ain't so bad. Do you know what I mean? And again, this is like all just in my world and in what I was like kind of thinking and coming to discover these last 2 weeks of like kind of mania in this house. So I'm not trying to like put that on everyone and their situation, because Lord knows some situations it's like, yeah, Lisa, no like amount of happy thinking or silver lining or like good attitude is like gonna fix this. And like, I get that. So I'm not trying to say that. I'm just hoping maybe there's some people out there who like get this and need this, like a confirmation, affirmation that like things work itself out. Nothing can't be fixed, or like nothing is what did my mom used to say? Nothing is unfigure outable, and like trying to be grateful for what you have and enjoy the way you got it going. And then, so that was that. That was my first thought in terms of like the holidays certainly like didn't go as we had intended, but we ended up making the most of it. It was really, really fun. And also the video that came out of it was really, really fun. And then just our luck, because we laid low, Jeff was fine enough to go this past weekend to, like I mentioned in, I think, yesterday's vlog, we went to the park. We do this annual football game with our friends and their kids, and it's just like one of the most pure, wholesome, like fun things we do and traditions we do that like doesn't involve like hurting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is just simply like such a, nobody had their phones out. Everyone was just like engaged and in nature and playing. It was just so wonderful. So we ended up getting to go to that, and that was certainly the highlight. Besides me and Jeff just scarfing down pie in our pajamas on the couch. So that was my first like thought on all of that, and takeaway is just like, just trying to find the silver linings in these terrible situations or unpredictable situations. And that's the other thing, or leads me to the next sort of takeaway that I had, which is like, I feel like we put a lot of expectations on things, at least I do. Like, I am such a pre-worrier and such a pre-planner in many ways, where I like pre-assume how things are gonna go in like every situation, and in doing so, I'm like setting these expectations of how things are gonna go. And like, when I do that, I mean, sometimes it's good to like pre-plan, obviously, for a lot of things, but I think when you put your expectations and set your bar and expectations for like the weekend, for instance, to go a certain way, you're kind of setting yourself up for like disappointment, especially like in partnerships. Does anyone do this? But like, I've been working on this in all of my relationships where I like have these expectations of people and how I want them to react to a situation or how I want them to be in a social setting or whatever, you know? And that's just like, first of all, like ridiculous and not practical. You can't put expectations on other people. They're their own people. So that's not good. And then in doing that, it's setting yourself up for failure, and your expectations won't be met because you're putting that on someone else. Does that make sense? So I've really been working on that. And then just in situational things, like I had all these expectations about even on the day, like I could vision what Thanksgiving would be like, feel like, what would happen. Maybe that's just like human. Maybe that's a protective, maybe that's an anxiety thing, but like I could see the kitchen and I could see everything happening, and like I was like pre-worrying about certain things that I thought would happen, and like in the end we didn't even end up going. So I think I spend too much time worrying and setting these expectations, good, bad, ugly, when I really should just be focusing in the now, which is another thing we talked about, Jeff and I talked about this weekend, is like you really like, they always say this, so I'm sorry, I'm just like kind of like re-spouting out like self-help books, but like I guess as I like get older and as I experience more things, like it does make sense, like the be here and the now, like you can't like the past worrying about the past and the future like isn't productive. Like you literally just need to be in the now, and like you hear that, you read that, you see that on like pillows, on tattoos, and it like doesn't really click until it kind of clicks and you're like, oh yeah, wait a second, like I literally don't have control over anything. I mean, I have control of my actions and how I approach things, and I'll do my best, but like to spend so much time in the future in my head, like worrying about every step along the way, I'm really like missing out on the present. And I know a lot of people don't worry about the future, but they like kind of obsess about the past, which is like the same feeling, but just focusing on the past. And it's like, well, I mean, that's not really serving you. I guess it's good like in therapy and stuff to like go back and look at your past and maybe take away some lessons from that, but to like always be in the past or always be in the future, you're really not living in the now. And the now is where it's at, and life is short. You might not get to that Thanksgiving, so enjoy the time you have. That made it sound like I like died before I went to Thanksgiving, which I did not. I just we just got super sick up in this house. All of us did. Excuse me. Sorry, here comes a fire truck. I feel like they changed the, just like random, but like I feel like they changed the path of the fire engines like in our city, and like for years they never used to come up this way, but now for some reason they like use our street, and it's you know, God bless, get to where you need to get to, and may the people on the other side be safe. Anyways, how are we feeling about this little self-reflective therapy moment as we fold our clothes? Is it too much? Is it too heavy-handed, or are we kind of liking it? I like struggle sometimes to think of subjects now for story time, and I do feel like between my book and like literally 15 years or whatever of doing this on YouTube, I've pretty much told like all my stories. And now that we're vlogmasing, it's like you're seeing all my stories in real time. But yeah, those are kind of the things, like expectations, like trying to like not really like lean in too hard on expectations or put expectations on other people because you can't control other people. Being in the moment, and also enjoying like the silver linings and enjoying what you do have, even if it's not what you expected. And like the most tangible, I guess, representation of the expectation thing and also silver lining thing is like when my podcast setup wasn't working, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just turn on the camera and get it done. And we did. And it was really, really fun. So those are my lessons, and I still have so much to fold. So what should we talk about now? I guess Vlogmas. Another thing where I'm like, okay, normally I would like obsess and I would like map out a whole like plan of what this was gonna look like and what each day would do. For a couple of years there, when I was vlogging every day, which is essentially Vlogmas, or doing videos every day, I had these like, I printed out printout calendars. Like I would go onto Google and I would be like, January printable, free printable calendar, and I would print it out, and then I would write in, like I would plan out what video I would do every single day, and then once I shot it, I would highlight it. Such a system. I did that for a full year. That was crazy. I think it might have been a year or like a year and a half of basically doing Monday through Friday. I think I maybe missed like one or two. That was a wild time. I'm not as diligent anymore, obviously, as planning because life is just getting in the way. But I still really love doing this. And so I guess with Vlogmas, I'm like trying not to panic and be so like strict about it, because first and foremost, I feel like that's just not what YouTube is anymore. Besides like podcasting, where people like really like schedules, really like consistency, really like to know like kind of what they're getting into. I feel like the rest of YouTube, we come here, at least I do, and correct me if I'm wrong, for vlogs and stuff, just for like authenticity, right? And like back in the day, it used to be all about like producing big videos and having things like really fine-tuned, and now it's just like sometimes you just want to kind of unwind and watch people and unwind and like not mindless, but like sometimes mindless. And so like I'm here to give you mindless content sometimes. Sometimes we like to think deep thoughts, but other times we like to just watch each other decorate our houses or unbox silly things that we bought on the internet, which by the way, I think I'll do it tomorrow. Black Friday was so funny. So I did a few Black Friday videos in terms of Cupshe and Lily Silk. They were both branded videos, but they were having some great sales. And I gotta say, like I've done Cupshe for the past year, and I gotta say that was like my most successful haul in terms of everything I really liked. And their sweaters, honestly, wasn't expecting the quality to be as bomb. Their bathing suits are always like great quality, legit. They're like, I can't recommend their bathing suits enough, but like sometimes their clothes, I'm just like, okay, we gotta like make sure that we find the right ones that we're going to promote. So if you do purchase, make sure you make sure to read the reviews, and or if you do watch my videos, I really try to be honest in terms of their clothing items. But their sweaters, holy crap, dude, like really good quality. I've been wearing one of them a lot. Anyways, back to Black Friday. So I don't know if this comes with like age or like maybe just like lower view count, hence lower bank account, if I'm being honest, unhinged, that like on Black Friday sale, I was like, I don't really need anything, and like I don't want to just buy stuff to just buy stuff. Like I feel really adamant about that, but I was like, but however, folks, there are some things in my life that one, I either buy all the time, and like I know that they are gonna have some super duper sales. So like, for instance, so random, but like protein powder, very expensive, but I eat it all the time, and they were having a bomb sale. So I think I just got a package from them, and I'll show you guys that in a vlog. Also, just like mostly like food items, but a few other things. I hit up Ulta because they were having a pretty good sale and got some staple things that I've been sort of just putting off because I didn't want to spend the money. So that's where my Black Friday sale shopping went, was like practical stuff or stuff that I've been putting off because it's just been too expensive. Also a few Christmas gifts, nothing crazy, but yes. But a few Christmas gifts. So stay tuned for that. I also will finish decorating the house, and I will eventually do a like a Christmas decoration. Like, what am I trying to say? Like, oh my God, my brain. Dude, my brain's been doing this a lot lately where it just kind of like fizzes out. What is that all about? Oh my God, a tour, Christmas decoration tour. I'm also like moving around some stuff in the house. I'm just in like a redecorating mood. So maybe I'll do an updated house tour as well. Also, I have a ThreadUp package that arrived, so I will do that soon. And lastly, I have a collab coming. I just need to record my end of it, but it's with a new YouTuber that I've never done a collab with before, and I think that you guys, if you don't already know them, you will be very excited to know them, and if you do know them, I think you're going to be really surprised that we're doing a collab together, and I think that it's going to be really fun. So stay tuned for all those things here on my channel, Monday through Friday. I love y'all so very much. Thank you for folding with me. Sincerely, I've been putting this off. I love doing this with you guys because it actually gets me to do it. So, namaste. May your mind be blessed with openness and calmness, mindfulness and and be present this holiday season. And I'm here to remind you of that, and you guys are here to remind me of that. So, dope. See you tomorrow. All right, bye.